Polling stations are open across Europe for the EU Parliament elections, but in some member states, turnout remains a challenge. In Slovakia, less than a quarter of eligible voters showed up at the last elections, with the country consistently recording the lowest turnout across the EU's 27 members. While many there feel disenchanted with the European Union, in neighbouring Ukraine, the majority of the citizens there are desperate to join the bloc. Alex Cadier visited a border town with Ukraine to discover why, when it comes to EU membership, views are often miles apart.
This is a place where almost nobody shows up to vote. In Lunik 9 in East Slovakia, voter turnout was just 3.1% at the last European elections. Tomáš Mata is trying to change that. He teaches in the local primary school here in Lunik 9, a Roma community on the outskirts of the city of Košice.
I personally think that the educated Roma understanding European Union, but for Roma who is not educated, it's hard because they have other problems for their life that not contribute them to understanding European Union.
Not always as pronounced, but apathy towards the EU can be found across the country.
This year, Slovakia marked 20 years of membership of the European Union, but it remains a country with an east-west divide. We're travelling from here in Bratislava, which has the highest turnout in the EU elections, to the east of the country, where turnout can be in the single digits.
Nationwide, back in 2014, just 13% of voters turned out to cast their ballots. Activist and policymaker Mikuláš Lakatos is campaigning and hoping for higher turnout in these elections.
Nowadays, politics simply ignoring the needs of people. They think that the programs what they are developing could be the best solutions for managing the regional disparities of the country. But most probably, these programs are developed without involving people.
Halfway between Bratislava in the west and Košice in the east is the town of Handlova.
Until a few weeks ago, it was a sleepy ex-mining town like any other. Now, it's known for the assassination attempt that rocked Slovakia. Prime Minister Robert Fico was shot here on this square before being bundled into his car, having just attended a meeting of his cabinet.
Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico was shot and very nearly killed here in May. An incident which analysts say could generate support for his political party and wider interest in the upcoming European elections. Locals say decisions made in Brussels can feel very far away here, but their impact is visible. The local coal mine was shut down as part of an EU-wide push towards green energy. Most of the ex-miners here still receive financial support and retraining through EU funding, but a disconnect between voters here and the EU's institutions remains.
Myslím si, že ľudia neprídu, alebo príde strašne malé percento ľudí voliť. Nikto o tom proste teraz nerozpráva, akože hovorí sa o tom, je proste ticho.
Turnout in Slovakia's central region may be low, but as you travel east, an even smaller proportion of Slovaks show up to vote. The country has 14 members of the European Parliament. Tomáš Mata says more needs to be done to inform people about the benefits of being more engaged in the selection of these MEPs.
I think that the European elections are important for the people here because they can affect the financing of various projects that could help the Roma community.
And just 100 kilometers east of where Mata is running in Lunik 9, we reach the border with Ukraine, a country hoping for a future in the European Union. The Ukrainian city of Uzhgorod sits on the border with Slovakia. Authorities here have launched a new railway project which will replace Soviet-era tracks with European ones, further linking Ukraine's network to the EU. People here feel very differently about the European Union.
It is a big responsibility of all democratic countries to vote. We understand that the election will impact on our situation in our country, and we hope the next people after the election will support pro-Ukrainian direction, and because it is important for our safety.
I always knew that we are in the middle of about the Europe. That's why I'm feeling like a European girl, and I think that our mindset, what we are doing, how we are doing our business is like more closer to the Europe than to the other countries.
For Ukrainians here, these European elections matter.
Slovakia shows that turnout and interest will always be a challenge for the European elections and that domestic issues will dominate. But if you hop across the border here in Ukraine, people say that actually the decisions made on polling day will be existential for their future. Alex Cadier, CNA, Uzhgorod, Ukraine.